is having surgery tomorrow.
Okay.
Just so you're aware. So he's probably going to be out of pocket. So if you need anything from my husband, let me know. So not only are we really busy because he, of course, in his finding new fun things to do, picked up a new product for us to support, got 3 clients last week and left town. And said, here you go. Have fun. So
that's why you guys are a good team, right?
That's right. It's like, he sold it. Now I have to figure it out. So yeah, but business, BizBud is growing slower than what we had thought, but working with software as a service providers is a slower model. But it's growing, and we're doing a match tomorrow, and life is good. And I think that long-term, 5 years out, that will be my world. I don't know if Rex has talked to you about 3% leads, but he has a new product that will give you people who are looking for your product that you can then email and market to. That is a really, really interesting product. So it's something that you can talk to me about it. You can talk to Rex about it. You can talk to the developer about it. But we're the first people in Colorado who have it. And it is time consuming because it's a learning curve to get up to speed on it. But it's really going to be fabulous. So I'm kind of like juggling in between those. So why do you ask, or was that just a general question?
No, because I'm actually curious, because you always have time for our group, and I appreciate that.
Well, that's why I came running in, put the things in the refrigerator that had to go in the refrigerator, figured I would eat, and then, but I will be missing a couple along the way because I have to do a couple trips to Dallas, and then I'm volunteering in Germany in June, so I'm leaving, and I'll be gone for 10 days. So,
that's where, what's her name that joins us from Spain is from originally. So maybe she can hook you up with some.
I'll have to see. Well, this is really interesting. This is, and it's only because I made my girlfriend go to yoga camp with me. She's making me do this with her. It's a business class in Germany that does an immersion for, they've taught people how to speak English. They're coming to the United States for whatever, for business. And they do a week-long immersion program, and they bring business people from the United States, Australia, and the UK to talk to these business people and to help them get more comfortable when they come to the US.
I love how you're never idle.
Diana,
her name's Diana. There we go.
So unlike Dave, who's going to go lie on the beach, which is what I would really like to do, my girlfriend was like, oh, come on, do something of value this year. So
he's going to lay on the beach, but we're also making him join us for networking stuff.
Oh, good. Now, when do you go, Dave?
The May 3rd. Yes, very excited. Welcome, Aiden.
And hi, everybody.
Where are you going, Dave?
I'll be in Kauai on May 3rd.
Wow, that sounds nice. We're all jealous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I'll be taking lots of pictures and showing you all.
Good.
Good. That would just make us feel even better.
Right.
But Destiny's going the week before I am, right?
Oh, wow.
Oh, you're going the week after?
Yep.
And where are you going?
Oahu.
Uh-huh.
Nice.
Well, home. So.
Yeah, is that where you're from?
Yes.
And where in Oahu?
So my parents are on the windward side in Kailua, but a good chunk of my family is on the leeward side. So I'll be traipsing all over the place.
Cool stuff. And Destiny is finally going to be joining us sort of from a doctor's office. She's been joking about it since since this all started.
Yeah.
And she's joined us from doctor's office adjacent, and she keeps trying to join us from the emergency room. So now she's.
I'll find a way to top where I'm at. You know,
the strange goals we have here.
Yeah, gotta have goals, right? So
It's extreme networking.
yeah,
Hey, Monica.
exactly.
No, it's network wherever you are.
It's the beauty of it. I love it.
There's Adam.
Wherever you are.
What?
Adam knows how to make an entrance.
What? I'm here. I'm gonna try to. I'll try not to crash while I'm driving. How's that?
Please do.
There's like this car mode, so I'm stopped before I it says there's a car mode on here. Where's that?
I think you swipe one way or another.
So we had a pretty good time hanging out with Adam last week. Me and Tim Washburn went down to see him.
I was really glad you guys came. I know people were all kind of on their own for a little bit, but I'm glad you got a chance to talk to Tara and Pat as well.
Yeah, that was fun. Did anybody get to play beanbag?
Oh, yeah. Like, we were looking for you because we played beanbag, like, within 5 minutes of you leaving, we went and checked out cornhole and stuff.
I had somebody come in to meet me, and I was going to bring them in and introduce, but there was no room to park, so I just hopped in their car, and then we went to this place to eat, and then it was over.
Likely story.
Jill, I didn't get to see you much at the event, but I hope it was good for you at the chamber the other night.
Thank you so much for including me. I got sequestered by people out on the roof or out on the terrace.
That's why I couldn't find you.
Likely story.
Yeah, right, exactly.
And I was there I looked for you when I left, but there weren't very many people when I left, and you weren't there.
Yeah, I stayed a pretty good long time, but it was a big group, so it was easy to lose people in it.
Well, I was there till like 8.
I have no idea what time I left, but yeah, it was fun. It was a good group.
Really fun. Thank you so much for including. Now I'm debating, do I join the chamber? Do I not? So I used to be involved in it when I first moved to Denver 100 years ago, before you guys were all born. And then I stopped doing chamber things.
Well, it really seems like it's got a really good group of high-level professionals participating, so I feel like I'm getting a lot out of it.
Cool.
Monica, did you get the link for the meeting today via email?
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure my emails are working.
Dave, you may want to think about doing one of these as a what groups do people belong to and where's the value out of each group, so that we can have a good idea of because I would love to hear what other people are doing to get in front of people.
I missed what you said there, Jill.
It would be great to have just a meeting about what other places are people, what groups are they part of, where are they going, how are they finding their leads.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Just my thought for the day. I ate my spinach. Monica, your live this morning was very nice.
Oh, thank you. I'm going to be bringing textbooks in May. I'm pretty excited about. I just emailed them all today. One of them is Destiny, but I want her to be a surprise guest somewhere in May. But thank you.
Chantelle, is your DVR filling up with Doctor Who?
Maybe.
Mine is.
Actually, you know what? I don't have cable and I don't have a DVR. Doctor Who's back on? I might have to hang out with you.
They're doing the 100-episode marathon on BBC, so I set my DVR to record all of them.
Yeah, I might be hanging out with you.
I'm going to be a happy nerd.
It's always good. If anybody ever hangs out with Adam, and this will never, ever happen because he's fun to talk to anyway, but if the conversation's ever lagging, feel free to bring up, Doctor Who, Star Trek, Battlestar Galactica, especially cross-referencing the old Battlestar Galactica to the new. He's really, really solid on any of that. He gets very emphatic.
Just because I have opinions.
Oh, yeah. I'd never fault you for your opinions, just because you're wrong. But, you know,
yes, the nerds will argue.
Okay. But actually, I was having fun talking to Destiny. We went out and had lunch, and she was talking about all the different connections she ended up getting because of this group.
Nice.
And of course, I bring that up when she's
Gone.
frozen. There we go. Okay. But yeah, it was pretty cool. You said Adam introduced you to somebody, and it like kind of spiraled out of control.
Yep, it snowballed.
Nice.
So thank you, Adam.
Are you a polka dot now?
I am gonna go and check out a meeting in May.
Okay, I've
I
heard
wasn't
great
able to make
things.
the April one, so I'm gonna go check it out in May. And Katie, Jackie, they're all like, "Oh yeah, you're totally a dot," and I'm like, "What the heck's a dot?"
Which chapter
There
are
it
you
is.
gonna check out?
Westminster Arvada, I believe,
Okay.
is the one.
I go to the Denver one, but they're all great. You'll enjoy them.
Oh, cool, excellent.
What is a dot?
It's a women's networking group called Polka Dot Powerhouse, and so we call ourselves Dots. That's what the members are called. But it's a great group. It's all women, and it's open to everybody. And they only meet. Well, I mean, you can go to as many meetings as you want, but each chapter has 1 or 2 meetings a month. But they're always very fun and energetic and uplifting, and they're fun to go to, and you meet really great people.
It's very, very cool. Yeah, I was talking to Destiny and telling her, "Oh man, I need to introduce you to Katie," because we were talking about really, really good speakers and people who can command a room and just be really, really comfortable and kind of fill it, the persona. And so I'm like, "You need to meet Katie." And she's like, "Oh yeah, I already have. Adam's got me covered."
I beat you to the punch.
Exactly.
You did, Adam. You did.
Hey there, Stephanie.
Hey, I finally got to join. Fourth time's the charm.
Trouble here lately, isn't it? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool
At
stuff.
the end of the meeting, it pops up a window. Wasn't that better than what you're used to?
Well, maybe. Yeah. Well, it's good to have everybody on. Welcome to AllPro virtual networking, and where we can join from cars and outside doctors' offices and all over the place here. It's nice to have everybody. So, as you all know, that we record these and end up putting them on YouTube later, so that way you get a chance to look at it, share people, your different presentations that were out there. So yeah, it's been good fun. And we have our lovely chat, which people are already starting to blow up. Good job, guys. So go ahead and chat your name and where you're from, and we'll call on you and have you do your 1-minute intro. And Stephanie is first because she kicks butt almost every single time she's first.
Despite Zoom's best efforts, even. Well, hi, everyone. I'm Stephanie OBrien. I'm a fiction author, comic artist, video editor, marketing coach, and copywriter. I've published 4 books through Amazon's Kindle, and I help business owners to attract more clients by helping them to figure out what marketing materials they need and what to say in those materials. And then I write the materials for them, so they don't have to take the time to do that themselves. If you want to know more about me, my website is www.coachclientconnection.com.
Cool. Sounds good. All right. And Jill from Denver.
Hi, I'm Jill from Denver. I do kind of 3 different things. First is I'm the managing director of BizBud, which is a peer-to-peer network, and we help match people together who want somebody to talk to every day to help them grow their business. I help my husband with something called 3% Leads, which is a new lead generation way to get leads through behavioral actions of people on the internet, which is kind of cool. And I also do marketing strategy at high levels for a variety of different people, small and large. So I'm Jill from Denver. If you need any of those things or just somebody to talk to, give me a call. Dave will tell you I just sit in my living room and I'm around all the time.
Jill's awesome.
She's always got something informative to say on pretty much every subject I've discovered. So.
That's, as I said to somebody earlier today, the advantage of being old is you have, it's you, Chantelle. It's the advantage of being old. That's who I said it to. Is the advantage of being old is you have lots of data to pull from.
Yep. Cool stuff. And I was like, I don't know if I should agree. I'm calling her.
Yes, you
All
should.
right, and Destiny's chatting in from her phone. She's got it down. Actually, both of our phone people chatted in. As you're doing again.
Good afternoon, everybody. Coach Destiny here. If you're tired of your business running your schedule or how full your schedule might be for no good reason, contact me. I'd love to chat with you about it. Normally, the fact that your schedule is full or you're overbooking yourself is more of a symptom than a cause. And I'd love to help you find out what that cause might be and help you to change that so you can have the success that you want, the time that you want, as well as the money that you want. Coach Destiny from Loveland, Colorado.
Nice, thank you. All right, and then we have Adam from In My Car in Colorado.
Hello, everybody. Adam with Employer Essentials. We tame Harris, the monkey on your back, with all those payroll, staffing, HR, operations, things that are just not a lot of fun. I like to talk about real-world solutions that we've helped with, and so my latest that I'm going to share is there's a business that we're working with because the business owner had very lax policies and had worked with some friends in the past, and somehow over time the business became a democracy. And when he would ask for them to do something, there would be debate amongst the employees those things. And if there is a debate in a business, that means the business owner doesn't have control. So we're helping put in policies and procedures for him through a handbook and some other HR tools so that it's a benevolent dictatorship like it should be rather than a democracy.
Very nice. You've even told me you'll be the bad guy, like if somebody needs told off or chopped, right?
Absolutely. We are full HR, and if that means sometimes we have to have the negative interaction so the business owner doesn't have to, we do that. And in this case, there may be a couple people who don't understand dictatorship versus democracy, and they just might not stay.
Nice. It's always nice to have an awesome nerd to be the bad guy for us. You know?
That's right. Nobody can get that mad at me. We'll just talk Doctor Who when we're done.
There you go.
You wouldn't get a guy wearing sunglasses, would you?
Oh, goodness. Monica.
Hi, everyone. I'm Monica Miller, and I turn entrepreneurs into authors. And then after they become authors, I help support them with their online presence and content, all through, of course, content like blogs, social media, and newsletters. So they can be out having that new book to go out and network, make some money, and earn extra clients and leads while they know that their online presence is being built up. So I'm Monica Miller, and I have my own business called Monica Writes.
Thank you, Monica. And we've got Aiden.
Yes. Hi, everyone. I'm Aiden Kramer. I am an attorney in Denver. I specialize in business law. So I work with business owners and small businesses to form, build, run, and protect their business. I do everything from formation and compliance, contract drafting, review, negotiations, trademarks, dealing with difficult clients. Most of the things that business owners are going to encounter or have to deal with during the life of their business, I can help with.
Cool. Thank you so much. And thanks for joining us and being our guest speaker today.
Of course. Thank you.
All right. And Dave.
Hello, I'm Dave Kramer from AllProWebTools. We are an all-in-one toolkit for managing your small business. We've been in business since 2009. And if you have any questions about the different softwares that you're using in your business, we can help you to optimize that.
And I'm over here the nerd translator at AllProWebTools, so I can take the things that we've got all together and put it in layman's terms, and we can work out what that means for you. All right. So, Aiden, did you, so we had a member that is not able to make it today, Gina, but she did want to get a chance to talk to you, so I sent an email and connected you two, so hopefully she'll actually have a prospect for you.
Yep, I got that. She did respond to it, so thank you very much. Yeah, I'll connect with her.
Sweet.
Awesome. And also, if you wouldn't mind, we'd like to get some suggestions on the ultimate time slot for this networking event. So if you want to chat that in, what would be the absolute ultimate time for us to have this event every week?
And includes your time zone.
Yes,
and most of us here are from Colorado. I know Stephanie's over in Canada. And, we've got Cheyenne, which I think is still in our zone. But yeah, include your time zone. Cool stuff. And then I believe the other thing I wanted to bring up before we get started, Dave, did you say our last speaker had a offer for us, or?
Right. So you guys remember the sales trainer we talked to last week? He does personal one-on-one coaching with companies, and his normal rate is $500 for 3 one-hour sessions. And he said that if we can get 3 people together, he'll drop that rate to $325. So it's about $100 a session. I'm definitely doing it. I think, Chantelle, you have somebody else that's going to do it?
Yeah, Jade was, yeah.
Okay, so we just need one more person and we can all get a discount. So go ahead and chat that in if you want to do it. And we have to decide today because the deadline's tomorrow. So just let us know if you want to do that.
Cool.
He'll do. I should probably describe. He's going to go deep dive into your business and your particular product and whatever sales pitch you're doing now. He'll write you a new sales pitch if you want. You can practice it out in the field and then come back to him and tell him how it worked out. He will go through like really in detail into your sales process with you.
Cool. Thank you for that. All right, so without further ado, we have lovely Aiden Kramer helping us out with lawyer stuff. I'll let you talk.
All the lawyer stuff, all the exciting lawyer stuff. So as I mentioned, I work with small businesses and business owners for pretty much everything related to running their business. What I love about what I do is that I get to take the stress off of my clients, whether it's stress over planning for a big launch or launching a new product or a new service and getting contracts for that, or protecting your brand with a trademark, or even the stress of having a difficult client. All of that I get to shoulder for you, so you get to run your business rather than trying to be a lawyer at the same time as running your business. And I have some things planned to talk about today, but people often just like to have question and answer sessions. So it's completely up to you guys. If you want to hear what I will talk about, or if you want to just ask questions, that's perfectly fine with me. Or as I start talking, if questions come up, please feel free to ask them at any time. Does anyone have a preference of what they would prefer to do?
Any questions for Aiden?
All right, well then I'll just talk, and if questions come up, please stop me and let me know. So I assume most, if not all of you, are business owners. Is that right? Is anyone here who's not the owner of a business or heavily involved in it? All right, perfect. So, and I'm also assuming most, if not all of you, have your business formed as either an LLC or a corporation. And when you do that, when you operate a business as an LLC or a corporation, the primary purpose of doing that is to protect your own personal liability. By forming an LLC, you're creating a separate entity from yourself. So if there's ever any lawsuit or a liability of some kind, it's the entity, it's the LLC or the corporation that's liable for those things rather than you personally. And having the LLC or a corporation protects your own personal assets from any liabilities of the company. But there are situations where it's called piercing the corporate veil, where a court will decide that the owner of the business should be held personally liable for the debt or the liability of the business. And this is especially risky and happens more often when there's only one business owner. When it's a single member LLC or one shareholder, one owner in a corporation, piercing the corporate veil is more likely to happen than it is when there's multiple owners. So what I'll talk about today is what you can do to avoid piercing the corporate veil, because there are absolutely ways to avoid it. It's not easy to do that, but there are a few things that are important to do to make sure that you don't put yourself at risk for those liabilities. The biggest part of it and the main overarching idea of piercing the corporate veil is that there's no separation between you as a human and you as a business owner or the LLC itself. And so keeping the two separate in all ways is the most important part to protecting your own personal liability. The easiest way to do this and the easiest way to mess it up is by commingling funds. So it's the absolute most important thing to do is to make sure that any assets of the business are separate from assets of you personally. So separate checking accounts, separate bank accounts, making sure you don't pay your personal bills from the business account or vice versa, and keeping adequate records of any transactions that might come up between you and the business. So if you have a piece of equipment that you're letting the business use, either structuring that as a loan or some kind of a lease between you and the business, just as you would if you were leasing a piece of equipment from a third party or using something else from somebody else, there should be some kind of an agreement there and some kind of record of that transaction. So doing those same things with your own business between you and the business is part of keeping that separation. Something else that is very important to do to protect your own personal liability. Yeah.
You have a question from Monica?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, real quick. When you are saying, keeping everything separate, I totally get that. I already do that. But so if your business is paying your personal account because, you got paid and it's payday, how do you do that? Like, do you just write a little note saying payroll?
Yeah. So you can pay yourself any way you want to, really. You can write yourself a check from the business. You can transfer the money between accounts. Really, any form of payment is fine. If you're taking it as actual payroll where the taxes are coming out, then that should be recorded in your books as a payroll expense. Or if you're just taking it as a distribution, not as actual payroll, then it's recorded as a member distribution. And as long as your books accurately reflect that, then that's okay. And the mode of paying yourself isn't quite as important as just making sure you have a record of it. So it doesn't look like you're just pulling money out willy-nilly and not tracking it. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, so whenever I go into transaction, make that transaction from my bank account to my personal bank account, and it has like a little description, what would I put in that just to kind of keep me like, oh yeah, this is what it was for?
Yeah, so you can either call that a member distribution, you can put payroll in it, any of that is fine.
Okay, great, thank you.
Yeah, sure,
Okay.
sure.
And we have another question from Stephanie.
Okay, so as a Canadian who often serves U.S. clients and who's actually forming a JV with a U.S. business owner, One thing my JV partner suggested was creating an LLC in America. Thing is, well, I actually recently dissolved my Canadian corporation because it was costing me around $1,000 a year just for stuff like filing the tax return,
Sure.
and nowhere near compensating for it. So I'm just wondering what your thoughts are as far as, liability, taxation, and additional work and fees just required to maintain it. What are your thoughts on a Canadian creating an American LLC?
Well, so I'm not totally familiar with how that would work between Canada and the U.S., particularly with the tax side of it. But there's certainly nothing wrong with doing that. You don't have to be a U.S. citizen to form an entity in the U.S. I believe with the tax side, though, you will still be subject to taxes on both sides. So if you're receiving income from the U.S., you'll have to pay that still as you would even if the company was formed in Canada. You might also, and I can't guarantee this because I don't know about what Canada requires, but you might also still have to register in Canada anyway, even if the company is formed in the States. In the US, between different states, let's say I'm in Colorado, if I formed an LLC in Delaware, I would still have to register as a foreign LLC here in Colorado because that's where I'm actually physically located. So I'm imagining some similar requirement would exist in Canada, where since you're actually physically located there, you'd still have to be registered in some way. So the government probably wants to get their own cut of the taxes and whatever fees. So I would definitely have to look into it more and do some research to tell you for sure one way or the other. But it in many cases, it ends up being more work than it's worth to avoid some of the taxes or some of the extra expenses.
Yeah, in my experience, the fee that you pay the accountant completely negates any possible savings that you could get on taxes, by hundreds of percents. When you're paying $900 in accountant fees, that totally negates your tax savings right there.
Exactly. Yeah. And I'm sure it would get even worse now that you're dealing with an entity that's actually formed in the U.S. as well. So I would guess that would be the same kind of thing.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Okay. So getting back to what I was talking about, the other, aside from commingling and making sure all the assets are separate, another thing that's important to protect your own personal liability is to follow corporate formalities. So, of course, keeping your LLC or your corporation in good standing with the Secretary of State or with the Secretary of State equivalent in Canada. I don't know if they call it the Secretary of State there, but making sure your company is in good standing and then having adequate corporate records like operating agreement or bylaws, and then following those requirements. So if your bylaws say that shareholders have to have an annual meeting, then make sure you have that annual meeting and that you have record of that annual meeting. That is going to help to show a court, if there's ever an issue, that this company is a separate entity and it's being run as a proper business, and therefore the liability protection should be upheld. And then finally, the last part, and this is pretty easy to do, but people often just don't think about it and don't think of it as a thing, but making sure that when you're representing the LLC, that you are representing the LLC or the corporation. And what I mean by that is, let's say in a contract, if you're entering into an agreement with another company and there's a written contract, you want that contract to say that it's the LLC that's a party to the contract and not you as an individual. And when you sign the contract, making sure you sign it on behalf of the LLC, because if you sign it personally, then you're potentially personally being responsible for that contract. Yeah, Dave.
And what is the actual proper way to sign as the company?
So what I do and what I recommend people do is I'll use my own company as an example. So I'm the law office of Aiden Kramer, LLC. So in my contracts at the bottom, it says the law office of Aiden Kramer, LLC, and then by, B-Y, Aiden Kramer. And that's where I sign my name. And it says Aiden Kramer member or Aiden Kramer owner, president, whatever it is. So it's clear that I'm still signing it, but I'm signing it in my position as the owner of the LLC.
Okay, so an extension of that is when you have someone else's paper handed to you, they have that name section is different for everybody. Sometimes it says member and then there's a space and then under it has the title. And like, is there some things we need to watch out for there when someone else has drawn that up so that it is proper? Like if it says by member and then there's a signature line, can we just go ahead and sign it with our name because that's already been signified that it's by member?
Yeah, that's fine. As long as the business name is on there, signing it like that is fine. Just making sure that it's clear that it's the LLC or the corporation. And then whatever form of the actual signature and the title, those details aren't quite as important. The important part is just making sure the business name is on there somewhere where it's pretty clear that you're signing on behalf of the company.
Great, thanks.
Yeah. And let's see. Oh, along with that, just making sure that wherever you're putting the company in front of people, making sure that you're using the LLC or corporate designation. So Colorado at least, and I think most other states require that an LLC have the letters LLC in it or something like that, limited LLC, so that the general public knows that when they're dealing with this company, they're dealing with a limited liability company, and that if there's an issue, it's going to be with the LLC and not with the owner itself. And so, you'll see often at the bottom of a website, it'll say who owns the website or who runs the website, making sure that says the full name with LLC, and on your business cards, things like that, making sure if it is an LLC or a corporation that it's designated that way so people know that they're dealing with an LLC or a corporation. Any other questions, any concerns, anything? And it doesn't have to be necessarily about this. It can be about trademarks or contracts or anything really. Nope. Oh, Dave, yes.
So what do you have to do in your profession to stay on top of the latest things that are happening in the legal world?
Well, I have to read a lot, and every time I get a new situation, I have to research to make sure the laws haven't changed, because some laws are based on statutes or codes, but then some laws are based on case law. And if a new case comes up, that can potentially change everything that I thought I knew, because if a judge decides to change a rule that had previously been the existing rule, now there's a whole new rule. So I'm on email lists for different business law sites and just general legal blogs, and us lawyers get this really fancy magazine from the Bar Association every month that talks about different things. So it's really just a lot of reading and a lot of research, and then luckily I have a lot of colleagues who know more than I do, so I get to poke their brains for everything when I need help as well.
Awesome.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What's the most common thing that you see small business owners do over and over again that we should be aware of so we don't make the same mistake?
The biggest thing is not having things in writing. So not having contracts with clients. People want to, often they want to keep things like informal to have a better relationship with their client, and they don't want to muddy it up by having a big drawn out legal document that all their clients have to see. But it's so important, not just for the business owner, but for the other party, because having all those terms in writing, number one, makes sure everybody understands what's going to be done, but it also protects both parties in case there's an issue or a disagreement or confusion about something. Having all those terms in writing is so important, and I see people not doing it all the time.
And can you tell me, I know everything is custom,
Sure.
but what's an average cost to write a contract, and how long does it take?
Average cost for like a service agreement type of contract is usually, for me at least, usually about $800.
Okay.
Depending on the exact circumstances. Sometimes if it's a simpler situation, it'll be much less than that. Sometimes it's much more, but 800 is about the average.
And how long does it take you?
Usually takes about a week or two, depending on, a lot of it's dependent on the client's response time and how quickly, we can talk about the details. And because I like to have my clients read over things so that they can ask me questions about it. So, because I want my clients to understand what their contracts say. So it varies, but usually about 1 to 2 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have another question. Unless you has one. Shantel, you?
No, I was actually mentioning that you had one earlier.
Yeah, thanks. Okay, so I'm about to enter a JV partnership with my friend, and she's in Denver, and we want to create like an online course together. So what do we need to have in place beforehand to ensure that we're on the same page, that, and then we, because we're creating an online course, that means that we're going to be splitting the money. So what do we need to be looking out when that starts happening, start rolling out?
Sure. So you certainly want to have some kind of a joint venture agreement or a partnership agreement. The name will vary, but it's going to need to address, of course, how much or how you guys are going to make money off of this. So how it's going to be split, if there are going to be costs or expenses, making sure it's clear who's paying for that, or if that's being taken out of the overall profit that's then going to be split. Something else that you're going to want to make sure you guys cover is who owns the course materials or the end product. So if you're going to have printed materials that you give to people, or if you're going to have a video that you're going to distribute after the fact, knowing which one of you actually owns that, or if you both own it jointly, and then what you both can do with those things. If you both can freely distribute them after the fact to anybody, or if you want to restrict that usage. Those things are going to be, I think, the most important aspects to that situation.
Okay, because we're doing it's going to be like an 8-module course, and I'm doing one module, she's doing another one, so we're rotating. So my next question, what was the next question? Oh, email list. Should we just get an entirely new email address for this with an entirely new email list for this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
As opposed to using your existing email?
Yeah, for example, right at this present moment, we haven't rolled it out yet, but I know right now we're just using her email and her CRM. Mm-hmm. But I mean, of course, because we're splitting it, the emails are mine too. So I guess I'm wondering, how do we go about that whole email thing? And how do I go about adding those people to my list and she's adding them to her list?
Mm-hmm. So from a legal standpoint, it doesn't really make a difference. If you use her email versus creating a new one, it's going to be the same. The exception to that, though, is if you guys are going to create a new entity, like if the two of you are going to now form another corporation or another LLC or something like that, then you might want to have a separate email just to keep that separate from your own individual businesses. But even I don't think that would be that big of a deal if you didn't do that. So I really, it's whatever is most convenient for you guys. And then with the email list, same thing. I think it wouldn't be an issue if you shared each other's email lists, or if you took both of them and made a new email list for a new email. It's from on the legal end, it's not going to make a difference either way. So really just whatever is going to work best and be most convenient for you guys.
Okay, yeah, because I know right now we're just like, because this is just so new, we're just saying, you know, we will eventually have our own separate, you know, well, we'll create email together and probably create a new list together, you know, like separately, that is just for the online course. But right now, because it's so new, we're not going to spend the extra money because we don't know if we're going to be making the money right now.
Yeah, and that's fine. That I don't see anything wrong with doing that.
Okay, all right, thank you. Yeah, this was like some of the things I'd be like, oh, I need to like ask and figure out what's going on.
Sure. Yeah. Any other questions?
We had another. We only have time for one more, and the question came in online. The question is, I would like to know if a non-US based entrepreneur should consider having legal representation, perhaps Legal Shield, if you have US based customers. So this is somebody who's in the UK and they're going to be working in America, and they're wondering if they should have representation in America.
Yes, probably. It would be a good idea to have somebody in America, particularly in the state. If there is one state in particular where most of the business is going to be done, then having someone in that state. But if you have someone in the UK, an attorney in the UK who is familiar with international law, that will probably be good enough. There's not a whole lot. Our laws are very similar to the laws of the UK because we took them from old court decisions from England, you know, however many hundreds of years ago. So a lot of our philosophies, a lot of our legal concepts come from those legal concepts. So there's a lot of similarity. It absolutely wouldn't hurt to talk to someone in the US though about it, just to make sure there's no special circumstances that maybe you haven't already thought of.
Awesome. That's interesting, seeing how far back that goes.
Yeah. The cases, which we had to read in law school, are outrageously boring and difficult to read, though. So I don't recommend them.
Well, thank you so much for helping us out today and presenting. Did you have anything you wanted to offer to the group, or any how would you want people to contact you if they want to follow up with you?
Oh, sure. So the best way to contact me is by email. My email address is aiden@aidenkramerlaw.com. And you can find all my contact info on my website, which is aidenkramerlaw.com. And I also I offer complimentary consultation as well. So if you are wondering if you need help with something, or if you have concerns about something, I'm happy to chat with you about it and figure out if there are things that we should do to get you set up.
Great, thanks. And Aiden is also maintains quite a popular YouTube channel where she discusses different topics. So if you look her up there, she's doing quite well on YouTube. I'm really proud of that success that you're seeing there.
Thank you. Yeah, on YouTube, if you search All Up in Yo Business, Yo is Y-O'. That's the name of my YouTube channel. So if you search All Up in Yo Business, you'll find my videos there.
Awesome. Well, thank you. We'll turn it back over to Shantel.
All right. I was typing that in, so we have it in the actually, I'm horrible at typing this. I think I got it in the chat, so that way we've got your email and the Facebook channel on it. All right. Excuse me. But yeah, so meanwhile, the last 5 minutes of our lovely little compact 45-minute meeting we usually reserve for announcements. So does anybody have announcements this week? Jill?
I have a friend / associate in Philadelphia who's looking for a meeting planner or a VA that has corporate business experience to help her run an event here in Denver in July and then again in October. So if anybody knows of someone who may want, it's like 3 days in the end of July and 3 days the end of October, email me at wisejill@gmail.com and I can get them the information, but it's going to be an ongoing, this is the first time they're doing it, but it's going to happen more than this.
Cool. I believe I know somebody that could work for her, and I'm sure other people will.
Okay, cool. Yeah, if anybody has anybody.
Yeah, I'll look that up. Sweet. All right, and then I saw Monica's hand.
Yeah, I have a ask and a second one, whatever that was. So my ask today is if you know of any like groups filled with speakers and coaches in them that are looking for presenters, I would love to present to them, or even organizations or associations. I would love to get in contact with the facilitator. Also, where's my event? That shows how bad it is. Okay, so if you know of an entrepreneur, coach, or speaker more specifically who wants to begin writing a book, and they've just been struggling with what to do, where to go, I'm actually starting a 4-month program, so a 16-week program up in May, and I'm looking for people who want to begin writing their book. Like I said, it's more into the entrepreneurs and coaches and speakers, so it has to be business related books.
Cool. All right, anybody else? All right, cool. I was just about to say, Adam, I can't see you, so if you're raising your hand, just shout. But
no, I was good.
All right, cool. So for the group itself, of course, we'll be back here next week. And we're listening to Jill the Wise. She's going to be presenting and talking to us about her what she learned at the big marketing expo. So she's going to give us that experience without all the travel.
Nice.
And there you have it, 45 minutes of networking.
Perfect.
Don't forget to tip your waitresses, and be careful out there on the roads getting back to your office.
Awesome. Great information. You know, Aiden, I didn't.
Sorry, Adam.
You're on.
No, I was just going to say, Aiden, that was great info. As a payroll guy, I didn't feel like I had a lot to add because you were doing a lot of really comprehensive information. You know, my grandfather had a saying back in the day, the first step of getting out of a hole is to stop digging. And I'm the guy who can take a shovel out of a person's hand, but you're the person who fills in a hole. So
That's a great way to put it. I love that. Well, thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Before anybody drops off, Dave, do you want to do our group photo?
Oh, yeah.
Sure. Everybody ready to smile? 3, 2, 1. All right, got it.
I love that Stephanie fixes her hair.
Right.
Oh, I forgot to
Oh,
fix
yeah, get
my
rid of the
hair.
house coat. I had no cat this time. No cat boa.
No. We need to all have some weird mascot that we hold up one of these days.
I already got one. I just don't always carry my stuffed animal in public with me.
Oh, why not?
Special, yeah.
It would be
makes-
a great conversation piece at networking events.
Oh, it is, absolutely. But there are times where I'm sitting in a coffee shop and people wonder if I'm a slightly, immature adult who brings his whoopee to a coffee shop with him.
Yeah, at least you're not the guy who brought the mechanized animal that actually looked like it was alive and confused the waiter.
Yeah, it makes me look like the guy in Ted. I've got an imaginary stuffed animal friend that only I know really can talk.
You'd be Calvin. You got Calvin and Hobbes.
That's right.
Yep. Yeah, Aiden has a monkey that he holds up and presents with. So.
Awesome. Oh,
Yeah.
Into a
Is
puppet. So
Oh, nice. Nice.
On my business card, you can see my little monkey friend.
Perfect. Well, next time. I'll have to see you next time.
there you go.
That's right.
Okay, I got to run, guys.
See you, Jen.
Bye. See you next week. Bye.
Bye, you guys.
Have a great one, everybody.
See you, everyone.
See ya.